Now that we have a handle on the sum function, let's take a look at a couple of the other simple functions that Excel has to offer. Now when I say simple, what I mean is they only have one argument. Show me the range of cells you want me to do something to. We've seen that we can use the Auto Sum button to quickly enter a sum function into a cell. Click the button, hit Tab or Enter. In this case, I'll hit Tab to move over to the next column. In this column, I'd like to do the average of this column of numbers, and we can just tell to look at it, of course, that the average is 1, but we want Excel to do that for us. Now we could type that in, equals average, open the parenthesis, select the numbers, and then just tab over to the right. Excel closes the parenthesis and solves the problem. But that's the hard way of doing things. Let me delete that, and let's try it the easy way. Take a look at the Auto Sum button. Notice that there's a little drop-down arrow to the right. When you click that, it'll show you these other simple functions that we can use just like the Auto Sum button. Choose Average. Excel automatically selects the cells above the formula cell and puts in a perfectly good average function. Hit Tab to move to the right to accept the formula. Well, it doesn't get any easier than that. How about count? What we want to do now is count the numbers that are in this column. Well, here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 numbers in this column. We'll go up to the down arrow next to Auto Sum and choose Count Numbers. Now what's interesting about count numbers is that there really isn't a function called count numbers. That's just what it does. The function's name is count. And as you can see, it puts a box around all the cells in the column and gives us a perfectly good function. When we tab to the right, it says, yep, there's 5 cells that contain numbers in that column. The max function simply tells you the highest number in a range of cells. What's the highest number in this range of cells right here? Well, of course, 100. We want Excel to do that for us. Click in the yellow cell, click the down arrow next to Auto Sum, and choose Max. Hit Tab to move to the right, and sure enough, there's the 100. Min, you could probably guess what that does. It's the opposite of max. It shows us the lowest number in a range of cells. So what's the lowest number in this range of cells? You got it. It's a 2. So here we go. Down arrow, choose Min, hit Enter. Beautiful. Our next step is going to be to practice with these functions. But before we do that, there's one feature that I want to show you that isn't quite so obvious unless you're looking for it. And that's the AutoCalculate feature. Anytime you select a range of cells, when you look in the status display at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that Excel automatically performs a sum, a count, and an average of the numbers that you have selected. This gives you independent verification that your formula is working correctly. If I looked in the AutoCalculate feature and I saw a sum of 4, that would probably indicate that I missed a cell when I was selecting cells for the formula. You can control the display down here by right-clicking in the status display. Here you'll see a big list of things that allow you to customize the status bar. And here in this section, you'll see the mathematical functions that AutoCalculate's capable of doing. We could turn on minimum and maximum and numerical count. And now, anytime you select a range of numbers, it's going to show you all 4 of these simple functions. Here's the min function. Take a look at AutoCalculate. It shows us 2. Max shows us 100. Okay, that gives us a pretty good start. Now we're ready to go to the practice exercise, and we'll see if we can't have some fun with this stuff. Our objective here is going to be to put formulas in all the yellow cells. Well, let's take care of the easy stuff first. How about these cells in column H? We need to put a function in here that'll sum the numbers across like this. And what's the easiest way to do that? Well, we're going to select all the numbers and select the yellow cells, and then just hit Alt equals to do the auto sum. Oh man, isn't that great? No trouble at all. Okay, let's go down here to the sum function. Now in this case, we're going to take care of the functions in just this one column. We won't worry about all this stuff over here. We'll get to that in a second. We want all the functions to be working correctly in this column. And then what we'll do is we'll take this whole thing and use the fill handle to copy it all to the right. Okay, so one function at a time. The sum function. Alt equals. We're going to redraw the box because we don't want to include this blank cell right here. So just grab the mouse, drag down through the numbers, and then just hit Enter when you're finished. Excellent. Okay, now to do the average, we're going to go to the Auto Sum button, Click the down arrow and choose average. And lo and behold, it only gets this one number right above it. That's because there's a formula in the cell above it, and it knows that a formula is different from these values in this cell right here. So it just stops right there and says, okay, I'll give you the average of that one cell, which of course isn't doing us any good at all. But we know what to do about this. Since we're paying attention, since we saw that the box went to the wrong place, we'll just grab the mouse and reselect the cells. Hit enter. Now we're going to have to do that for each one of these now. For the count, we'll go get the AutoSum drop-down list, choose Count Numbers, redraw the box, enter. Now to get the max, here we go, redraw the box, enter, min, redraw the box, enter. Now you may notice a little red tick mark in the count cell. This isn't the same thing as the green tick mark we've seen before. Whereas the green tick mark tells us that there might be a problem with the formula, the red tick mark indicates that there's a comment attached to this cell. And here there's just a comment about the count function. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just select all of these cells right here. Once we have the entire range selected, we'll grab the fill handle and just drag it the whole way to the right. Oh man, I love this stuff. Isn't that great? Okay, before I get too happy and dance the night away, let me stop for a second and talk about a problem that I've seen folks have in the past with this exercise. Let me delete these formulas right here. And I'm going to select all these cells just as we did before. And my intention is to use the fill handle to copy them to the right. Now what I'm going to do is just grab right above the fill handle. I want you to notice now the mouse pointer is a little 4-barbed arrow. It's not the little thin black cross that we're looking for. It's something else. Now when I grab this and drag it to the right, all I'm going to end up doing is moving those formulas to the right. Because that's what that barbed arrow means. It means move the cell when you drag with it. So I'm going to undo that. Control Z, by the way, is the keyboard shortcut to undo. And go back now and just grab the fill handle, make sure we got the right thing, and then just drag that to the right. And now I'm good to go dancing.